trolls. They don't have adrenaline in their soul.
That's right, surprise. It's Jim Valley. Oh, wait. Yeah, you know. I'm here most every Saturday, I guess. Not much of a surprise. Backlash happens today. Jacob Fatu against Roman. Sami Zayn against the Gingerbread Man. Trick Williams. And surprise, it's Jim. Yes, the Gingerbread Man. He has risen. Bread man walking. And surprise, it's Jim. I know. Not a great surprise. Much like WWE. Sort of like Randy Orton's mystery caller. Or possibly Jelly Roll. Why have mysteries in WWE been anything but lately? When it's a mystery, there should be a big payoff. Sort of like with the Gingerbread Man. You know, you and I talked about it. There should be a big payoff when you spend a ton of time. They spent a ton of time, and the big payoff was Yachty taking out Sami Zayn. Okay, now the only way they can make this right and make it work, we'll talk about that, what could happen, and what I think should happen tonight at Backlash. Plus, AEW Fairway to Hell. And speaking of the Gingerbread Man, they're dummies who think I don't like comedy and wrestling. They even said, get this, stop being perverted. I like 5 stars of Tokyo. You invent that joke. Don't lecture me about comedy. We were using a joke from last decade. Stand by, Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer.
I am an American.
Oh, clear. Oh, the Gingerbread Man.
Yes, the Gingerbread Man. Backlash. It's Backlash.
Why do they just suck at everything right now?
I have no idea. No idea. That's right. What was that?
I mean, I could come up with better stuff pulling it out of my ass.
I think they did. Well, it's like there's so many fun things you could do with the Gingerbread Man. You know, they should have had someone walk by that looked like Lord Farquaad. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
They could have had, you know, like I said, Bread Man walking. They could have done some Undertaker stuff. They could have done, you know, some jokes like that. But they didn't. They just did, oh my gosh, he's at the Eiffel Tower. Funny, hilarious. How funny. You know, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't get it. It's like you said, just like McAfee and Orton. Like I don't know what they're doing right now.
It's dumb.
And then what's the Cena crap today? Oh, WWE Premium or whatever the fuck they're calling.
That's what some people are saying. God, you know, could Cena be even more of a shill? He's starting to make Rock look like a real person.
Yeah.
You know, that's how bad it is. That's how bad it is.
I mean, like, in what world, the way that this shit has been going, in what world does anybody think that anything he's gonna say is like cool or gonna be cool? Like, it's their shit has become a walking like just ad of bullshit.
Right.
And I can't, you know, I can't say that it's all that much different from like what happened to UFC. UFC has sucked.
Yeah.
They're oversaturated, bunch of like crappy fights.
Yeah.
They're just trying to live off their brand name. Like, I don't care to watch anymore.
Right.
Like, you know.
Right. Yeah, I don't know. The gingerbread.
Just doesn't. I don't know. Just
That's funny.
it's sad. It's sad to watch.
Well, I mean, look, things go down all the time. You know,
I know.
wrestling's cyclical, and I think a lot of these people have never experienced that before.
Yeah. All right, here we go.
All right.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Yes, indeed, it is the Jim Valley. As BJ Henning says in the chat, the Gingerbread Man. It's kind of hard to say. Gingerbread Man. There you go. We'll get into that. Smackdown, the go-home show for Backlash tonight. ESPN, in case you didn't know. In Jacksonville, attendance down to around 7,400 people. Now look, wrestling is cyclical. And look, what comes up must come down. And I think a lot of fans who jumped on in the last 5 years or less have never experienced a downturn. And I've experienced many downturns. And it's going to be curious to see how this goes. But it's just something to be aware of. I'm not crapping on anybody or anything or dooming or glooming. I'm just saying it is what it is. And it'll go back up at some point. It'll go back down again. Wrestling is cyclical. People love it, and then they, sometimes they discover girls. Or sometimes, they just get tired of it because they're tired of it. It's not going the way they want. And they're not getting satisfaction. They go find something else. It's completely normal. It's just a normal part of the business. Also prices, gasoline, the economy, politics. I'm sure some, I'm not saying it's a major amount of people, but I'm sure there's some people with the Trump connection have turned off. There's a lot of different factors, but, creative is probably the biggest factor. But I mean, it is what it is. Some people just plain grow out of it. And that's just what it is. SmackDown opened with a graphic for Ted Turner. Of course, we will talk about Ted coming up in just a little bit. Jacob Fatu opens the show. Boy, they are doing their best to heat up Jacob Fatu. Comes out, intense promo. Roman got everything. He was born with opportunity. Jacob got nothing. Usos interrupted. Okay, is Jacob the babyface? Usos the heels? There were several times where I asked myself this question tonight. And look, I get it. For AEW, because of its different presentation, different fan base, I feel like the heel versus heel or questions about that fit better. But in WWE, I feel like because of its presentation, its fan base, it needs a stronger heel and a stronger babyface. But that's just my opinion. Anyway, Usos interrupted. Roman is going to break him down right in front of his family. Holy cow. Jacob says, yeah, his family's going to be at ringside. WWE and TKO, they have cut way down on the comp tickets, but to give away that many tickets for Jacob's family, wow. Sheesh. He's going to get a pay cut for that, probably 50% just to cover all those tickets. Jacob says there's no losing. This is for his family. And if the Usos interfere Backlash, he's going to burn the family tree down, which will take about 2 seconds. Family tree right now is sort of more like Tinder after all of the cuts. Tinder to start a fire, not the dating app. Nick Aldis, Ricky Saints. Backstage, Ricky's wrestling Matt Cardona. Saints says he went from wrestling Cody, QB1, to now wrestling QB4. Most of the roster, though, is UB40 in WWE. But I don't know. I think it's kind of crappy to say it about Cardona, but it is what it is. More pep talk backstage with Royce Keys, Jacob Fatu. Something going on there. Something going on there. We shall see. Solo, hey, I came up with the same joke, BJ. I have it coming up. I swear. Solo comes up, and Keys is mad about being attacked last week. Solo says you're in the wrong place, wrong time, offered Keys a spot in the MFTs, which, again, after all the cuts, it's more like the CBTs, the Charlie Brown tree. Yes, just like BJ said. Great minds think alike. Yes, indeed. I think I tweeted it out too, or put it on Blue Sky. U.S. champion Tiffany Stratton beat Kiana James. Prettiest moonsault ever. Kiana got a visual pin. Really? Okay. But Julia got on the apron, distracted the referee. Didn't see the pin. Tiffany rallied and won. You know, some people like this match. It's okay. It's all right. But Kiana James needs to stop with some of the spin kicks and gymnastics. They're just not very crisp. She would be wise to stick with the basics and do what she does well rather than some stuff that can be sloppy at times. So anyway, it was here during this match I noticed the ring actually looked clean with only a WWE logo in the center and 2 Xfinity ads on the front and back of the canvas, the top and the bottom, if you're looking at it on TV. Xfinity! Do you want your TV, phone, and internet service expensive with terrible customer service? Xfinity. We've been mediocre for years. Nobody likes us. Xfinity, the prime energy drink of services providers. Smackdown is 3 hours, but I think the Gingerbread Man Funeral felt about 5 hours. Holy cow. This was like a recipe that took forever. Different people lining up and paying their respects. Sammy, frustrated backstage, pointing out the absurdity, especially the people who weren't on the roster. And this went on for a while. And like I said, when WWE spends a lot of time on a segment, the payoff should be commensurate. But we'll get to that. Talatonga pinned Damian Priest. This one goes to Xfinity and beyond. Talatonga pinned Damian Priest after distractions by Tamatonga, Solo, and R-Truth. R-Truth came down even though Priest told him not to. And Priest had to save Truth from being double teamed outside the ring, only for Talatonga to attack him from behind, roll Priest in the ring, big choke slam, 1, 2, 3. Afterwards, the Charlie Brown trees surrounded Truth and Priest. Royce Keys out to make the save. Told Solo told the CBTs to back off, seemingly as an effort to recruit Royce Keys. I mean, look, the MFTs, the Charlie Brown trees, whatever you want to call them, they have been decimated by the cuts. They've been decimated by a booking. They need, if they're going to continue, they need something. And I would suggest that something would be a new member, like Will Hobbs. Sorry, Royce Keys. Sorry, I didn't mean to say that. Backstage, Danhausen trying to recruit a tag team partner for Backlash. No luck. Miz and Kid Wilson said the only person who would team with Danhausen was himself. Danhausen got excited and ran off. Later, Danhausen was backstage, had sort of a science table with beakers and things bubbling and such. He had a tooth to a beaker, tried to clone himself, but it didn't work. So I'm guessing that means his partner, Brian says the Buzz's Jelly Roll, will be dressed and painted like Danhausen. Whomever it is, that is what I think the purpose was. So, anyway. So they showed some gingerbread AI pictures of him at various historical WWE moments. Nothing that funny or creative, I thought. Nick Aldis told Paul Heyman that Gunther's attack was unacceptable, but he's happy to have Gunther on SmackDown. Cody Rhodes addresses the crowd. Heyman interrupts. It's going to be Cody defending against Gunther at Clash in Italy. Jacksonville crowd chanted USA. Before anything, let's talk about the Lesnar crowd. Everybody loved it. Was because Heyman was running out of options. Heyman said sooner or later, they all need the wise man. This is foreshadowing. We'll talk about that and more. Stand by. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
We call ourselves
All clear.
No kidding. Alrighty. Yes, indeed. It's funny. Yes. All right. Alrighty. What else?
What up?
What up?
I'm all right. A little nervous. Surgery's Monday, so just a little. But I'm all right.
Surgery? What's your surgery?
Oh, my mom's surgery.
Okay.
Monday. Sorry, Pedro was asking, but Monday at well, we got to be there at 9. So she's bladder tumor.
Oh.
So she had 4 last year, and they got them all out, and then we got to go every 90 days to get checked, and they found another 2, so got to go get those back out again. But they don't have to take her bladder out, which is a positive.
Are they benign or do we
No, they're
know?
yeah.
Sorry.
So just you know, it's okay. At least we've been through it. You know, she's kind of knows what to expect and whatnot. So
Yeah, of course. We should.
she at this point she's more pissed about having to have a catheter for X amount of days than anything. So
Yeah.
I'll take that anger as opposed to something else.
People in chat wishing you the best.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, everyone in the chat's
Yeah.
wishing you the best. Yeah. Everyone says
But yeah,
that's
just
best
you know.
wishes.
Yeah.
One time when I was in the hospital in Seattle, I had a roommate who had rolled his like 4-wheeler. He was riding with his daughter, and I think it might have been a side-by-side, but he rolled it and he had like separated his shoulder and stuff, and he had a catheter. And I don't know, maybe he didn't want to pay or didn't like hospitals or insurance, whatever.
Yeah.
He took out his own catheter
Oh.
and left. I mean, they put a balloon. So I'm like, how did
I know. Yeah, I'm very
Yeah.
aware. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even want to know, but yeah, he took it out. Took off. Didn't even bother to call and ask.
I mean, maybe he knew how to deflate it. I don't,
I hope so.
Anyway.
I hope so.
Yeah. All right, here we go. We're back.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live, talking about the Go Home show for Backlash tonight. And I don't know, after this, I was ready to yell, go home already. Some of this stuff went on forever. As he mentioned, Heyman stated that sooner or later, to Cody, they all need the wise man. Is this a tease for Cody turning heel or something else? My guess, something else. Gunther snuck up and once again tried to put Rhodes in the sleeper, but that was foiled twice because he threw Gunther out of the ring with his own momentum. Cody said, didn't matter if Gunther retired. You think I sweat you, G? Is it G for Gunther or just G? Because it's ain't nothing but a G thing. Cody's easy to find, but he is really trying to get that. Easy to find, but hard to beat over. Crowd is kind of picking up on it, but not yet. Ricky Saints beat Matt Cardona with the Rochambeau. Again, Cardona showed a lot more energy and things. No disrespect to Ricky Saints, but I just don't think he has the look for WWE with the crowd is used to. I don't wish him luck. We'll see how it goes. More Gingerbread Man Week nonsense. Blake Monroe is coming to SmackDown. Just not sure when. Does she debut? Maybe something tonight. I don't know. We'll see. Brie Bella and Paige came out. Recap of last week's victory over the Irresistible Forces. And this is not a nostalgia tour. Because Brie and Paige are the best they've ever looked and have been. And if Raquel and Roxanne, the Judgment Day, want to step up, then do it. Out comes Fatal Influence. JC Jane says, worry about them, not the Judgment Day. Irresistible Forces then came out. They called Fatal Influence Pipsqueaks. And then the crowd, which is a good sign, you can really tell, they were into this. They chanted, whoop that trick at Lash Legend, who's dating Trick Williams. But, look, say what you want about Nia Jax, and people do a very good improv. Nia thought on her feet, called Fatal Influence all tricks, trick, 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 and meme girls. Nia and Lash laid out Brie and Paige. And that is why Lash is with Nia. Learn how to be that giant. Learn how to think, that's why they're a team right now, is to teach Lash Legend. So, I hope she picked up that. So, that's funny. Someone goes from Gingerbread Man to Blake's half-baked character. Ain't that the truth? So afterwards, Jade Cargill appears. She and her baddies attack Charlotte. Rhea tried to rescue Flair, but Jade got the advantage, left all the baby faces laying, and Jade and the baddies stood tall. She hasn't been seen since WrestleMania. A whole 3 weeks. Gosh. Royce Keys beat Tama Tonga by pinfall clean. Tonga came off the second rope. Keys caught him with the ultimate spine buster, which is what they're calling it. Solo and Tonga outside the ring and did not attack Royce Keys. Now, before we get into the Gingerbread Man, I just want to mention, you go through these matches. You've got how many interference matches? Julia, yes. U.S. title match with the women, yes. Interference. Tama Tonga, distractions. Tala Tonga, I should say. Damien Priest with distractions. Let's see. Ricky Saints beat Matt Cardona clean. 2 clean wins on this whole show. So, okay. 2 of them. Royce Keys, Ricky Saints. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, now it's time for the Gingerbread Man Funeral of Trick Williams. And a small choir of 4 people back him up as he sang little ode to the Gingerbread Man. And they showed more AI pictures. Hey, look! He's at the Eiffel Tower. How funny. Even sang a part about the lemon pepper steppers. And look, if this was a test for Trick Williams, he passed. Trick showed his presence and charisma. And look, his aura and the fact that he's so popular and hot right now and cool saved this segment from bombing, period. You put most anybody else in there, they would have eaten that person alive. Ricky Saints, whomever, that person would have been mocked. But Trick is new, he's cool, he's hot, and he showed great charisma, pulling off one of the dorkiest segments ever with style. So A+ for Trick, F for the material. Trick did his little poem. Then they did an AI song with, like I said, the AI graphics. Him around the world. Anyway, surprise! Sami Zayn interrupts. Is he losing his mind? TV time, closing out Smackdown, holding the U.S. title. Those things used to mean something. Now Now, Trick is making a joke of Sammy and everything. And if Trick is about his money, why'd he spend so much on this? Crowd chanted, whoop that Trick, because Trick is over. Sami Zayn is going to make a joke out of Trick and embarrass him at Backlash. Cheap shot by Sami Zayn. He attacks Trick, and surprise, Sami Zayn holds up the U.S. title. The Gingerbread Man rises. Bread Man walking. Now, is he the Undertaker's brother? Got burned in the fire. No! He takes off the head, and it is Little Yachty, who attacks Sami with the giant peppermint stick. Trick shot. Sami's left laying to close out Smackdown. Now, look. Here's what I think. Someone asked, is he over, or is that chant over? I think Trick is over. I do. But, again, we'll see for how long. And with everybody, we'll see for how long. It's not just a comment about Trick. History shows the WWE audience often grows tired of people. So, it's not a comment on him or anybody else. It's a comment on the audience. Anyway, my opinion. Why did we waste so much time on this when the surprise is Little Yachty? The only way to save this is if we have a genuine surprise. Like, here comes the Gingerbread Man tonight, and it's Kevin Owens to help Sami win the title. Or someone. A surprise. A real surprise. I mean, on the show, the big surprise between Gunther and Heyman, they built around WrestleMania, was a move to Smackdown and a world title and a WWE title match. Jacob Fatu did that without Paul Heyman. Gingerbread Man, been around for several weeks now, before WrestleMania. And again, I speculated weeks ago, Gingerbread Man play a role, could be to help Sami Zayn. The big surprise, Lil Yachty. Randy Orton's big surprise, mystery caller, Pat McAfee. Tonight, Danhausen has a mystery partner. And Brian believes it's Jelly Roll. What is going on with these surprises? These aren't surprises. These all feel like plan B. They all feel like backup plans. They all feel like someone came to the house. You forgot to get them a gift for some reason. Here, I got you a scented candle. Here, I got you this bottle of wine. They feel like backups. They're not real surprises. They're backups. And it's like, don't make all these teases. Don't build things around these surprises and eat up, 30% of SmackDown if it's not a real surprise. Someone says it's becoming Hulk Hogan's celebrity wrestling. I met Todd Bridges. He's a nice man. I don't know. But it's like, if it's a surprise, you've got to deliver. If you stretch it out. If it's a one-night thing on television, it can be anything. Doesn't matter. But these surprises have been so lame, you're going to kill your golden surprise goose. And that is the problem with all of this. That's the problem as far as dealing with these surprises. Randy Orton, main event, Pat McAfee. Yeah, we've seen him before. Mystery partner Jelly Roll. Now look, I'm sure the audience tonight will love to see him live. It'll be a short little thing. It's not a big deal. I have no problem. But, surprise? Yeah. WWE surprises have sucked lately. That's no surprise. We're talking about a little comedy in wrestling. Also run down Backlash and more. Your Valley Wrestling Observer.
All clear.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solutions Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solutions Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
You're doing a three-parter on Jeff Jarrett.
800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. That's 800-520-8629.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3, get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3, get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
It is Jim Valley. It's Wrestling Observer Live. Run down a couple of real things real quick before we get into Backlash. AAA is right after Backlash tonight on the usual YouTube and Fox Latin America or Fox Mexico. Triple threat match, Lince Dorado, Octagon Jr., Cruz del Toro. La Catalina versus Jesse Jackson. Psycho Clown will call out Pagano. So there you go. A lot of people like AAA. It's very easy to watch. Very simple. Nothing wrong with that. AEW Collision tonight is 1 hour. It's the Fairway to Hell. I'm on the fairway to hell. Darby Allin defends the AEW World title versus Pac. And Jack Perry defends the national title versus Mark Davis. And Divine Dominion in action versus a mystery team. We shall see. Again, 1 hour special. 8 p.m. Eastern on TNT and HBO Max. Backlash tonight. Heavyweight championship match, World Heavyweight Championship. Roman Reigns, Jacob Fatu. They've done a great job building up Jacob on short notice. Is that good? Yes, I think it's good. I think there's going to be a heel turn. Someone's going to interfere and cause Jacob to lose. Is Roman a heel? Again, that seems kind of vague too. He's like a heel that people cheer. And again, I think that's just, I have no problem with it. I just don't think that kind of thing works as well in WWE. But Not necessarily a criticism. I'm just saying with that fan base, what they do, but what have you. I think look for Royce Keys to do something or something like that, but it could just be Roman wins. John Cena's history-making news. Again, if this surprise isn't a big surprise, what the hell? If it's this club WWE, or get this, you could pay WWE money to pay WWE money to buy the most expensive tickets. Sign me up, John. John Cena, God bless him. He's become such an automaton. He makes Rock look real. Holy cow. And look, loved Rock. It's very disappointing. Io Sky versus Asuka. They'll probably get some time. That'll be great. Seth Rollins versus Braun Breaker. See what happens there. Maybe some interference by someone with the vision going either way. Danhausen, mystery partner versus Miz and Kate Wilson. And WWE Championship, Trick Wilson versus Sami Zayn. Now, Backlash, 6 p.m. Eastern. Pre-show's 4 p.m. Eastern. Now, it's on the ESPN app. You know that deal. First hour, Backlash from Tampa. Going to be on ESPN 2. Opening hour. And I think we're seeing a pattern. Big, newsworthy stuff happens in that first hour because they want everyone to see it. Opening hour, Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn for the U.S. title, which again, will we see a big return? Someone in the Gingerbread Man suit. That would make sense to me, but of course a lot of WWE doesn't make sense these days, or it's just very bare bones. It's like, I'm not booking for myself when I make these predictions. I'm watching the TV. I'm trying to read the tea leaves to tell me where I'm going. It's not my fantasy to have Sami Zayn and suddenly Kevin Owens reunite wearing the outfit. I'm seeing the outfit used in angles and other things in this match and this feud, and that's where it's coming from. Trying to read tea leaves. Well, then I find out, well, there are no tea leaves. It's just a mix. Hell, it's not even an Arnold Palmer. I have an Arnold Palmer joke there, but I'm not going to use it. Anyway, so look for maybe returns or something big in both matches. But again, these surprises make them real surprises. So yesterday, maybe it was I don't know, I tweeted out or on Blue Sky. Find my Blue Sky, Jim Valley at Blue Sky Social, B Sky Social, you know the deal. Anyway, I tweeted out, posted, whatever the hell they call it. Anyway, I said, what was the point of the Gingerbread Man funeral? For that matter, what was the point of the Gingerbread Man angle at all? Regardless, if the angle got creative pushback, which is what reports say, everything on TV should have a point. Make it work. Quit wasting viewers' time. Well, someone goes, I don't even going to name this guy. His first name apparently is Brian. Brian, he tweets or posts, whatever. Everybody, Jim the Fun Police Valley is on the scene. No room for just whimsical fun here. Every angle must have a mid-sized gymnast growling in the camera, but now it's their turn to be world champion. If the Gingerbread Man bladed on TBS, most AEW fans would give it 5 stars. 5 stars! Oh my gosh, I love that joke. Did you just invent that? Oh my God, these smug a-holes, these smug bastards who use this joke, they do the 5 stars in Tokyo. Oh my God, they think they're so funny. So funny. They think they invented this joke. What? The Pritchard Show's been around, 15 years? 10 years at least? How about coming up with a new joke? It's the same one joke about Dave or, oh my God, I don't care that you don't like Dave. I don't care that you disagree with me. Please come up with a second joke. Is that too much to ask? Oh my God. So they do this and I'll explain a little bit. Stay right there. I'll explain while I'm whispering. Anyway, look, come up with a new joke, please. Please. Look, Gingerbread Man thing was low effort. That's the problem. I didn't say I wanted wrestling. And look, if you listen to the show, you know I say wrestling is the circus. You got the strongman. You got acrobats. And yes, you have clowns. And I have said nothing. I've supported Harley Cameron. I have said how Danhausen is funny, but he needs to mix things up a little bit. And he's done that in AEW. I am fine with comedians. Santino saved so many terrible segments in his time in WWE because of his presence and instincts and comedic timing. I have never been well, that's not true. When I was a kid watching the territories, and then Vince comes on with his TNT and putting electrodes on George Steele, and it's, having tea with Moondog Spot, all that stupid comedy. Fuji Vice I hated as a kid because it was stupid. And I thought it made wrestling look like idiots. But today, it's expected. And I'm fine with that today. I've expanded my horizons as an adult, and I don't take wrestling quite so seriously as when I was Luthez as a 14-year-old. But, that's what it is. And what's the deal with people ripping on Harley Cameron? Harley Cameron does boob jokes. That's part of her shtick. Remember when she and, was it Mina, were shimmying right next to each other? Remember that? This is Harley is a genius comedian. And a lot of people are. And I'm fine with it. Orange Cassidy. Again, he's not at his peak anymore. Nobody lasts at their peak forever. But because he gets serious at times and the right times, I think it's helped his longevity. But again, I have no problem with him. I've never criticized any of this stuff. Any of it. So don't sit here and tell me that I need that, or I'm doing that, or that I need to have, 10-star matches. I say the same thing every time. You don't need to kill yourself for my entertainment. I just want a little creativity, a little passion. Yes, there you go. Here's another one. TMA Taylor. Tailor-made man. Is that who you are? He's a mix of comedy and wrestling talent. Kurt Angle, a great example. Rock had great comedic instincts. So far, Trick, I wouldn't say he made chicken salad, but I will say, he was at least, he was passable. He was good, considering what he got. He made it work, and he's showing promise, and that's great to be that all-around performer. So, I just, it has nothing to do with I don't like comedy. I enjoy comedy when it's funny. I enjoy comedy when it's appropriate. I enjoy that. This thing was just low effort. Oh, look. There's the Gingerbread Man. He's at the Eiffel Tower. Oh, there he is at WrestleMania 3. Oh, it's just like, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with comedy. These people, they don't listen to the shows. And I used to get this when I was a reporter. People would be mad at me. They'd scream about the media. And I would say the same thing. Look, if you have a certain criticism about something I did, I would be happy. And I meant this. I'd be happy to talk about it and address it. But they don't know what I do. They don't. And same thing here. Oh, he's on the Observer. I listen to Jim Cornette, or I listen to whomever. Or I listen to, what's his face, Pritchard, whatever. And that's fine. Enjoy them. But if you're going to criticize me, know what I do, know what I stand for, and be aware of my opinions. God, I'm tired of these people sometimes. So tired of it. Gosh. It's so funny how people were talking. And Miz, someone mentioned Miz. Miz is another guy who's been great with comedy. That's probably why he's with, Danhausen now. He's teaching him. Same thing with Kit. Teaching him. And he's a great person to have. Teach these guys, this is how you act in WWE. This is what you do. This is the way they want you to wrestle. All those things. So look, I'm not against comedy. But when it's baseline, low effort, with no real payoff. Now, there's a payoff tonight. That'd be great. And again, I talked about this weeks ago, right before WrestleMania. Yeah, someone goes, they've always done the jokes for the peanut gallery. It's another one, and we're probably due for a bad food fight soon. It's like they had an idea, but they had no real jokes. They could have had how about this? How about a giant frickin' spatula to turn the guy over in his grave, in his casket? How about a giant frickin' cookie sheet? You bring him out, it just looks like a cookie sheet. It's not a real cookie sheet. You bring him out and you slide him. Maybe you spray the casket with like a giant Bam spray thing. Then you slide him off into the casket. Do something. It's the same baseline stuff. I don't know. What do you think about Backlash? What do you think about that? Also, what is too big? What is too small? We'll talk about that in overtime, but I got to discuss Ted Turner just for a few minutes. Jim Valley, Wrestling Observer Live.
With MedGuard Alert, you're never alone. You can connect with medical professionals anywhere, anytime. And now MedGuard is introducing our exclusive new Care Watch. If you need help quickly, use it from anywhere to contact medical professionals. No cell phone required. The Care Watch is not only a life-saving medical alert device, it's a revolutionary health monitoring system that checks your blood pressure, heart rate, oxygen saturation, and much more. And here's the best part. If you have Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. The Care Watch is only available through MedGuard Alert. Call us right now. We have monitoring programs starting as low as $1 a day. The call is free, activation is free, shipping is free, and no contract is required. Remember, with Medicaid, you may qualify to get your Care Watch for free. Call us to get your Care Watch right now.
800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. 800-853-8931. That's 800-853-8931.
Do you have diabetes? I'm sure you've seen the television commercials on the new CGM devices from all the top brands and how well they can help you manage your diabetes. Do you have the latest and newest in diabetes technology? The Diabetes Solution Center carries most of the top brands, and the great news is your insurance may cover most of the cost. Call our special CGM hotline today, and our friendly representatives will help see if you qualify. You could get a new CGM from the top brands at little or no cost to you. Make living with diabetes easier. You are just one free phone call away to learn if your insurance covers the cost. So make this free call today to the Diabetes Solution Center and learn for free how to get your new continuous glucose monitor.
800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. 800-520-8629. That's 800-520-8629.
Do you want to add a boost to your sex life this weekend? Do you want to make your partner and yourself happy? Then call our special hotline now. We'll sell you those little pills that work below the belt for less than $1 a pill and deliver your package in a few days, just in time for the weekend. Our pill delivers almost the same results as expensive pills for less than $1 a piece, and you don't need a prescription. And ask about their buy 3 get 3 free offer. What are you waiting for? Boost your sex life and have a great time now. Less than $1 a pill, discreet delivery in a few days, and a buy 3 get 3 free offer? Dial this number and save it now.
800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. 800-245-2751. That's 800-245-2751. Paid for by the Pharmacy Shop.
You are listening to Wrestling Observer Live on the Sports Byline Broadcasting Network.
Jim Bally, Wrestling Observer Live. You know, every year I vote for Ted Turner in the Wrestling Observer Hall of Fame. You know, people think Vince did everything, and he didn't. Yes, WWF was on an early version of HBO in the Northeast, but the national one was Georgia Championship Wrestling on WTCG, later WTBS. And it built the station. Ted Turner said so. You know, first show to 1 million people on cable TV. Tommy Rich, hottest guy in the country, thanks to Georgia Television. Dusty Rhodes, Mr. Wrestling 2, all these guys were household names for wrestling fans. First show to reach 2 million people on cable. Wrestling from Georgia. You know, it was national first. And, you know, it was the talk of all the magazines. Wrestlers wanted to be on it because you'd be national and you could tour the country and make your name. And my friend Bradley Craig, starting from Scotland, made a great point also about Ted Turner. One of the smartest and finest innovations that Ted Turner did, he said, was to capitalize on archive content and repackage it. Cartoon Network, recolorization of old movies. He understood the value of IP and ownership rights, and this model paved the way for streaming services today. And that's true, you know? But look, Ted Turner, again, national first. You know, unfortunately, he had a bunch of wrestlers without the vision that Vince had. You know, had someone been more of a visionary, maybe more money, maybe more things, you know, maybe Georgia Championship Wrestling could have grown and they could have gone national first, but they didn't. You know, a lot of the booking was a mess. A lot of the things backstage were a mess. And, you know, I finally got Georgia Wrestling by the time it turned to World Championship Wrestling, like 1983. So I saw the debut of the Road Warriors. I saw, again, Mr. Wrestling 2, Masked Superstar, the Legion of Doom with Ellering, Road Warriors, Jake the Snake, and King Kong Bundy, Ronnie Garvin, the perennial national heavyweight champion, and also Ted DiBiase. So many memories I have at 6:05, 3:05, if you're on the West Coast. Get my lawn mowing done so I could watch championship wrestling from Georgia. I loved it. Sometimes it was boring, but it was great. Even though I missed the peak of it, I still love it. Ted Turner is responsible for a lot of things. So, thank Ted Turner, and what a legacy. All right, I will talk to you next week. Enjoy Backlash or AAA or Fairway to Hell, whatever you're watching. And just remember, it's just wrestling. See you next week.
All right, Jim. Have a good one. I'll talk to you next week, okay?
All right, brother. Thank you.
All right, man.
All right, bye. All right. All right, guys. You know what? Hey, if you want, I'll stick around. My wife. See you later, Crash. I appreciate your participation. Hey, what was your race? By the way, that sounds bad. What were you running a race? Yeah, it's about the Moon Energy. Gran Turismo 7. Oh, nice. Oh my gosh, I'm honored. That's very cool. Gran Turismo 7. Nice. Gran Turismo is a great game. It's like a legendary game. One of them so influential. So influential. I'm waiting for so many people told me to get Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. I'm waiting for that to come out on Switch 2. So that's what I'm waiting for. Can you believe Switch 2 is going to be more expensive? Thank you, data centers. Thank you. So, if you, I'm going to go into overtime. If you're new, someone wanted to know about my voice, and I get it. And look, here's the deal. I have a rare autoimmune disease, and it's in the family of lupus. Anyway, it's a vascular disease. Used to be called Wegener's vasculitis. It's now called GPA, granulomatosis with polyangiitis. What it means, basically in a nutshell, is my immune system attacks my body. And what that leads to is inflammation of the blood vessels. And that inflammation, I've had heart failure, liver failure, lung failure, kidney failure, everything failure. And so then I had to get a kidney transplant. Anyway, it first hit me in 2012. It normally hits white guys in their 40s or 80s. And I was 40 or so when it hit. 42, 41. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I've almost died 6 times. And look, if you want to criticize me and criticize the show, you are totally welcome to. And if you can't listen because of the voice, I totally get that too. So that's fine. Anyway, so in 2020, when COVID was going on, I had a relapse, and I spent 5 months in the hospital. And again, like I said, I'm 6-0 against death, legit. And those times when I was fighting death, I was intubated. You know, they put the tube down your throat, so the machine breathes for you. And unfortunately, it happened so many times that I damaged my vocal cords. You can see right here, I was also trached. See that little slice there? That's twice. They did that right there, but then they put the tube here for that. Anyway, yeah. So that's what the deal with the voice is. And again, I totally get it. I wish I could do more to fix it. Oh, nice. Nice. Wow. That's impressive. I like to play racing games a little bit, but I don't know. I just kind of dabble in games now, to be honest. My skills have vastly deteriorated, which is, oh well. I finished Metroid 4. It's all right. I don't know. It's like, is that just the way games are now? Are they modernizing it, or did the game actually suck? Because I kind of think it kind of sucked. So, where was it? Someone made a great point about, where was it? Where was it? Someone asked about, you know, I bet you Vince is really happy. He's laughing probably that Ted died. I'll bet. Oh, let's do the spatula gag. Well, she's not Sammy. You're right. That might be kind of funny because it'd be a recall. But yeah, I forgot about that. But thank you. That was a great match. Sammy pulled all of that together. That could not have been easy. Anyway, okay, here we go. Stevie says, yeah, is with the hero bullying a dude over his hair color. And so I want to talk about that a little bit. Now look, it's wrestling. Sami Zayn is not upset about it. You know, you want to say it's a bad example? I'm not going to argue. But, you know, what I have noticed, you know, making fun of his hair color, but also Mason Rook, Will Cruz, British guy, you know, probably best known for wrestling in Progress. You know, he's been wrestling 2017, pretty successful. And from what I've seen, he's pretty good. But you know, he's around 300 pounds, 6'4". He's a big guy, but he's a little heavy. His what do you want to say? His body mass index a little high. Hey, Psycho Fox. Yeah. Oh, yeah. My voice was different. Wow, that's a long time ago. I know this is kind of what happened. I'm sorry, but I appreciate you here. Thank you. Thank you for much for being here, Chris. Chris Cage, Christian Cage. Anyway, so I see people making fun of him. Fans. He's too fat. Looks like a lunch lady. Looks like a lesbian. Needs a mullet. All these criticisms about him. Let's see, what else have people said about him? Let's see here. Let's see. Mason Rook. Criticisms. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, someone goes, yeah, the hate for Mason Rook is disgusting. It's like, yeah. So people have said Jelly Roll V2, the Feast incarnate, Feed Me More, Joe Hungry, Buffet incarnate, Lesbian softball coach, Ham Bigelow, Rise Above Catering. Someone said they missed Fat McAfee. Anyway, the eighth wonder of the world, like 8. Anyway, look. You look at this guy, and you look what he does in the ring, and it's like, he's impressive. He's got a lot of potential. And here's the other thing. Darby Allin. Darby, of course, is too small. Doesn't look like a champion. He is too small. Mason Rook, a rye snack. There you go. He's too big, apparently. 300 pounds, 6'4". And I'm just like, again, wrestling is the circus. Got the acrobats, strongmen. And again, you should have people, I wouldn't call him the fat man, because I don't think he's he's maybe a little bigger, a little different than Kevin Owens. And I was really surprised by the reaction to Mason Rook, because I thought, Kevin Owens kind of changed people's perception. Obviously, I'm wrong. And look, he's in the public eye. I don't know if he likes it, can handle it. He's probably dealt with it. The same thing his whole life, probably, I would imagine. But if you want to be in the public eye, that's just the way it is. And so I'm not saying, oh, leave him alone, the poor guy. I'm just saying, what the hell do you people want? Not you, but what the hell do these people want? Do they want everyone to be jacked? Everyone to be a bodybuilder? Do they want everyone to look like Randy Orton? So if Darby's too small, this guy's too fat, where's the middle? Where's the, oh, that's funny. Mason Rook should tag with LA Knight. Chess reference. That's funny. That's good. I like that. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. It's not that they're making fun of Will or Mason. It's that, these people have been so, they're so used to their Fed build, watching, and have the body image. And look, people should be athletes, look like athletes, unless they're comedy or, just filling time. But it's, like I said before, Darby is small. He fights like a scrappy, small guy. Yeah, Cena's a huge fan of Will Cross. Yeah, body guys. Cena's a huge fan of Will Cross, Mason Rook. But, hopefully people need to get past this. How do I put this? In my opinion, are people clean in wrestling? Are there PEDs or whatever? In my opinion, there probably are. Now, I'm not accusing anyone of anything. I certainly could be wrong. I'm just giving you my opinion. But I do believe that I don't know that there's too many people who appear to be abusing them. If you understand what I'm saying. And it's like, does Mason need to, put a needle in his ass to make people happy? I would hope not. There are, that's the thing about Japan. Japan has sumo. So there's, sumo culture. Sumos, they're rikishi is what they're called. Sorry. Anyway, sumo wrestlers. Rikishis are the wrestlers. That's their name. That's where Rikishi, the wrestler from WWE, got his name. But anyway, the sumo culture, where someone without the sculpted body, someone like Tenru, someone like Jumbo Tsuruta, someone like Shingo Takagi, perhaps, different people, they can have different body types because of that. Akebono, may he rest in peace. Yeah, tournament starts tomorrow. It's gonna be fun, and yeah, that'll be cool. Looking forward to that. But anyway, it just bugs me. You think, we're in this. Look, you think we're in this advanced age where people don't do that, but I guess we really haven't advanced much at all. It's like people make fun of Bam Bam Bigelow. Would people make fun of, let's see, who's another athletic big guy with that kind of body? At times, seriously, Mike Shaw, Mike Shaw, Mock and Sing, Norman the Lunatic, Bastion Booger, when he was not doing comedy, he wasn't bad. Keith Lee, Abdullah the Butcher, Haystacks Calhoun. There's a lot of big guys. And it's like, you need different people. Remember the time, early 2000s, seemed like everybody, including John Cena, came out. V-body, short haircut, boy shorts. Everybody. Sean O'Hare. And, the guy with the really big jump. Marco Collision. That's what he is in Mexico. All those guys. All the guys from WCW. The young guys. The natural born thrillers. All the interchangeable look. It's like, no, you've got to have different. It's like, if there's no Mason Rook, then what kind of shape is Randy Orton in? Just average? Yeah, Jindrak. Mark Jindrak. I prefer Marco Corleone because, dude, that guy is so athletic. Yeah. Nino Hamburguesa. In AAA if he ever comes back. I would think that they'll probably bring him back at some point. And it's just different body types, different styles of wrestling are okay. And, someone says, yeah, and Darby takes bumps like an experienced stuntman. And he has had amazing matches. Speaking of, oh my God, someone praised Darby online. I saw. I don't know if it was Reddit or Blue Sky or whatever it was, and someone was like laughing about it. It might have been that SC Jerk place or something. I don't know, which is stupidly confident. Oh my God, those guys. Look, you want to have a dissenting opinion. That's fine. But oh my God, these people know nothing. It's driving me crazy. These people are dumb. But yeah, I don't know. Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about that too. So ESPN, as you know, has been the home of WWE and these PLEs. And I don't see this one doing a bid. I don't know what you call it. I don't see a lot of people watching it. What would you call it these days? Not a buy rate, because you got to buy the app and you have access to it and stuff. I don't see a lot of interest. But that's just me. This just feels like a thing. But I saw Danhausen went to ESPN, did his thing. Well, there's apparently a New Jersey sports radio host personality, Keith McPherson, took to X, and I think he's on an ESPN affiliate station in New Jersey. Because the first time I saw the story, they said it was a ESPN host. And I don't watch ESPN anymore. I haven't watched in years. But anyway, he wrote, I have never heard of Danhausen. In the last 2 weeks, ESPN has force-fed me this clown, Dracula, Nightcrawler demon. And of course, people are saying, who's Keith McPherson? And that's fine. You want to criticize that? All that stuff. Yeah, okay. Is he hugely popular? Tiger Maker, is he like a big deal? He's on WFAN, so yeah, he is a big deal. Okay. Now look, whether you like him or not, or know him or not, this is what WWE is up against. You know, there's a stereotype about wrestling. There's a stereotype about wrestling fans. You know, it's fake. Why is this on ES? You know, and who is this guy? Who's this guy? You know, look at this little, you know, and look, Danhausen is, and any comedy is subjective. You know, you're gonna, you know, some people think you're funny, some people don't. And that's just the way it is. You know, so of course, he's not gonna be everybody's cup of tea. We'll get into the Saudi thing in a second. But what I'm saying is, it doesn't matter if you don't know him, fine, or whatever, but that's not the answer to this. But that is what WWE is going to be up against. I just don't see, as big as ESPN is, that this whole thing is a good fit. Because, you know, it's just not. And it's just not. You know, ESPN, people want sports, and they just don't see wrestling as sports. The people who don't like wrestling don't like wrestling. And that's what people are going to be up against. And that's just, and again, I don't agree with the guy. I get what he's saying, which doesn't mean I agree. But that's the pushback that that TKO's got to be aware of. That's the pushback ESPN is probably very aware of. And that's just what is going to be the thing going forward. But, okay, someone says Keith is not at the level of the morning and midday hosts, but he's on regularly. Is he like a night guy, or is he just fill in, or what? Yeah. We shall see. So, I don't know, but just something to keep in mind going forward, that there's going to be pushback. And it's like, you know, I don't know if I were to put a wrestling product on ESPN. It's like, I don't know that you can design a wrestling product for non-wrestling fans that's going to appeal to wrestling fans. It just feels like there's two separate masters to serve, and I don't think you can do either one effectively. And okay, he's overnight in Finland. Okay, so he's an overnight guy. So like the people working overnights in New York, listen to him. But yeah, I mean, I get it. Who is this Danhausen guy? Well, Danhausen is strange, and I mean by design. But like I've always said, I wanted to do more comedy, more stuff where it's like the things he says are funny, rather than just be, oh wow, watch a lot of sumo these days. That's cool. I saw sumo live in Japan before. It was like a tourist thing, but it's cool. We shall see. Anyway, just keep an eye on that. It's something to watch. But it's like, ESPN can stop people rating their pay-per-views, rating WWE pay-per-views, and it can deal with things in-house. But the stuff outside is going to be the problem. All right, King of Hueco Mundo. What's your thought on the Saudi King not being interested in TKOW products? Where's that article? Evans, Saudi King, and let me take a look. Is there? Hang on a second. Saudi Arabia King, WWE, interest. How about that? Interest. How about that? Let's take a look. Anything? Okay, good. Let's bring up the partnership. Let's see, news. Let's see. Here's what I think. Obviously, excuse me. Let's see here. Sports Illustrated. These are old. Why are these old? Super date. There you go. Okay. Ireland, Persephone. Nothing. These all suck. I'm not sure. I don't think I've seen that. But let's just talk about it real quick. If someone could give me a link, that would be fine. But where do we start? Okay, Live Golf. Obviously, Saudi has pulled money and stopped Live Golf. I mean, and Oscar De La Hoya and others have talked about they believe that boxing is coming. Now, Nick Khan, other people say no. We shall see. Let's see here. Saudi Arabia partnership continues to Turkey. Okay. Gotcha. They're going to pull out by 2030. Wouldn't surprise me. Now, look, I've never been to Saudi Arabia, and the way things stand right now, I will never go to Saudi Arabia. Now, look, I'm not playing, not doing a purity test. I've been several times to Dubai. And is Dubai great? No. But nobody's great. But at least, because of tourism, because of the money, Dubai is probably the most liberal, and I use that term very loosely, of the Emirates. Now, one time I was in line in Dubai with some expats, and these people seemed very plugged in. He was a, for lack of a better term, we call him a high-powered lawyer. These people, all the people over there, and this was years ago before crypto and all that garbage. But his opinion, and this was just interesting, and he seemed to be pretty plugged into things. Obviously, all that area gets their money from oil. His opinion was the switch to tourism-based economy because the oil is drying up. Now, do I know that? I don't. I'm just giving you this person's opinion who seemed very credible to me at the time. Now, obviously, you've got to, you can't just play one hand. You've got to separate, what's the term I'm looking for? You've got to spread it all out. Can't think of it. Anyway, doesn't matter. The point is they got into tourism, but guess what? The war now happening, or whatever you want to call it, with Iran, the attacks on Dubai, the attacks everywhere in that region have changed perceptions. Tourism is down, and I understand. I remember one time I went there to Dubai, and a friend of mine was like, be careful. Things are crazy in that area. And I was like, nah, no way they'll touch Dubai. And guess what? They've touched Dubai now. I was done. I was dumb. Very dumb. So, WWE says it's going to go over there. I mean, look, this is the company where, and it was Vince, but it's still the company that that left town. Vince left and left his wrestlers on the tarmac. Saudi Arabia scared the crap out of all of them. I don't know how concerned about safety they are. Ask Ashley Massara's family how concerned they are about safety. But look, tourism's down Dubai and the Middle East, Saudi Arabia. I mean, Saudi Arabia is so new to the game. Yeah, they've got Six Flags, but I mean, there's really nothing there. Jeddah, they're still developing. They are decades behind as far as tourism goes. With Dubai, with Abu Dhabi, with all of that. They've got a lot of, it's like Disney went with Abu Dhabi. SeaWorld's over in Abu Dhabi. There's lots of different, Warner Brothers World, coolest place ever. But it's like, as far as this goes, are they going to pull out eventually? What are they getting for their money? Sports washing. I think it's completely, they've done it. They're going to get they've got what they got. I know friends who either who have been over, who are roller coaster people, who went over to ride Falcon's Flight at Saudi Arabia. Look, I'm not going to judge them. Do whatever you want. It's your life. And I know people who are anxious to go. And that's fine. Whatever. I'm not going to deal with that. We all, there's no need for a purity test. But, what more do they need to do? And why are they paying so damn much? I just think that it's got to end at some point. It's got to end. Saudi Arabia's feeling it. They're reportedly very upset with President Trump for not cluing them in on some of the moves that he's made and how it has disrupted their economic functions, their foundations, how it's, interrupted everything. And they're not happy. So, I think it will end at some point. Will they honor the contract? Sure, why not? After that, your guess is as good as mine. But, I don't know. We shall see. Billy N. 7757 says right now, Saudis fully committed to gaming. Yeah. Look, gaming, you can do, you don't have to, you can go online and do that. You can get your taste of everything and get comfortable doing that online. Yeah. Saudi owns part of Nintendo now, which, I've got a Nintendo Switch too. I've got a ton of Nintendo games. I'm a bad person, I guess. you know? But yeah, if it's not paying dividends, it's like, how many times, and it's not special anymore. WWE goes over there and these fans are, I know, right? Yeah. These fans are, not as reverent as they used to be. Got the what chants and other things like that. So I don't know that Tony Khan would buy WWE from TKO. I don't know that he would. Maybe. Couldn't say. But either way, look, I enjoy AEW's product. Tony Khan seems like a decent fellow, but still monopolies, not a big fan. So, we shall see. I don't know. With WWE will then come back to WWF. That's right, yes. The Panda Fund. Well, maybe. Who knows? Who really knows? But all these pay cuts in WWE. Yeah, it's the UFC pay structure. Yeah, they don't make much. And that's what pisses me off. Because if you're an American taxpayer, or you will be, an American are going to fund this. You're going to pay. Because these guys are going to be on the dole. Because they won't have any money, be broken down. Look, there are a lot of wrestlers from the 80s who made millions. And their families are destitute or just, struggling. I say destitute. That's not fair, but, they're not living in the lap of luxury. And it's just, like I said, it just takes a divorce or two, takes maybe some bad investments. Some have speculated. Undertaker lasted so long because he had so many divorces and maybe some bad investments, some developments and things didn't pay off, that didn't work out. And again, I could certainly see that. Certainly possible. As far as his investments, that's his business, but he definitely had some divorces. Those can't be cheap. Those things happen. But Undertaker's a made guy. So of course he's going to be in. And, he's probably doing just fine, but wouldn't surprise me if that's a reason why he's still, doing what he's doing with AAA. So, am I disappointed? Tiger Maker 100 asks, hey Jim, are you disappointed that TK hasn't been, I'm guessing, running RH properly the last 4 years? How do I put this? How about this? Sorry. Tony Khan, no newsflash, has got his fingers in a lot of pies. He is totally, he does his NFL gig. He does his soccer, football gig. He's got his analytics company. He's got, then you got, NFL drafts and soccer, a different negotiate. He's doing a lot of things. Then you've got AEW. He's at, I think he's been at all of them or virtually all of them. He's doing a lot. And he said in the past that one of the reasons he felt that, the booking kind of suffered with AEW was because he didn't have much control. Now, look, I think he's got a good crew. He's got Sanjay Dutt. He's got, I think, Rocky. He's got, I think Shivani's in there somewhere. he's got some people. And it's like, it's Ring of Honor. We got a lot of people who are in Ring of Honor. Let them do that. Just let them do that. That's not a big deal, is it? Do that. But let go of that a little bit. Release the reins a little bit on that. What is that going to hurt? But it's like, I get that, AEW is his baby, and that's a big deal. Yeah. All right. Yeah. Yes. Someone says MBC UAE is easily a bigger gangster. Yeah. Than MBS. Yes. Yeah. Right. There's glorified laundromats. Yes. Exactly. Yeah. Pretty much. Well, I remember the first time we went to Dubai. Oh gosh, what was it? I remember what year it was. Anyway, I was looking it up online, and it's kind of funny because there was it was a message board, I think it was. I don't even think that's how long ago it was, but they had a cartoon of the Nike swoosh, and it was a hammock, and there was a cartoon of just an Emirati, just a guy, not offensive or anything, just a cartoon of an Emirati laying in the hammock like this, and the tagline underneath was, "Just do it for me." And that's the thing. You go to Dubai, the only Emirati I've ever met was here in Seattle. Because Emiratis got the higher jobs, and the people that deal with the public, are not Emiratis, because they're the highest class. And people laugh when I say that. It's it's true. I mean, talk to a guy. They have a service that will drive around and fill up your car for you. A truck, gas truck comes by your house, fill it up. So yeah. Yeah, they doing this to sell off. I mean, maybe. I don't know. I know the higher ups get that. We have thrown so much money up top, and we have nothing. So it's embarrassing that we've, Jesus. It's sad what we've done. I saw a friend of mine who's votes conservative, and that's fine, complaining about healthcare. I'm like, you don't even know the half of it, sister. I almost went bankrupt because of my healthcare. Because the first time it happened, they told me I was covered. I get out of the hospital months later. I'm not covered. You know why? Pre-existing condition. So this was before Obamacare. Lucky me, great timing. So it's like, people don't think about this until it affects them. And it's very sad. Very, very sad. Yeah. Nick Khan doubled it, 80%. Yeah, but I mean, people just go, "Oh, he earned it. He earned it." It's just I don't know. Oh, right. Open challenge tonight. Crazy open challenge. Pack. Okada next week. Who should get a shot before MJF? Finley? Yeah. That'd be great. Bailey? I think we're moving toward Mike Bailey. At least we were. I don't know what's going on. It feels like one of them from Jet Speed has got to turn heel. One of them has to. So, I could see Bailey getting a shot. I don't know, maybe the dogs or someone tries to screw it. I don't know. So, somehow, Kevin Knight comes down trying to rescue him. And boom, he screws up, accidentally costs Bailey the match, and Bailey gets mad or something like that. Yeah, one of them will. It seems like Kevin Knight, but on the other hand, I go back to shaking hands with Kenny Omega, but it does feel like Kevin Knight may be the one. Yeah, do Bandito, Clark Connors, you could do that. I think Darby and Clark have got to be buddies. because they're both from here. You know, I don't care. Look, if Darby is a commercial failure, as far as ratings or buy rates or what have you, that's fine. You know, got a shot for whatever reason, people didn't buy it or whatever. Fine, it happens. Kevin Nash failed at first. A lot of people have failed. But the thing is that from a artistic wrestling standpoint, it's been great. His matches have been amazing. And even if they take the title off him, he's got nothing to be ashamed of as far as that goes. It could be just he's too small. Could be just the wrong time. Could be anything. Or maybe people just don't see him as world champion. But we shall. But man, you can't deny he's had great matches. The people who deny that are the people who aren't watching, period. And by the way, you know what we need in wrestling? Damn it, I forgot about this. More open challenges. TNA is doing open challenges. Everyone is doing open challenges. Okay, enough of the open challenges. Yeah, someone says, took a chance and a glad. Oh, that's right. Nash didn't fail. Most profitable ever. Just ask him. You're right. That's right. It wasn't entirely Nash's fault. They didn't set him up. And he was a down. There's a lot of reasons. But anyway, thoughts on Ospreay? It's weird. I mean, I followed it. You know, I think this has got to be a John Moxley thing. And we'll see. I mean, Moxley, he doesn't want to do WWE booking. I know at times he's been approached with ideas, and he's like, no, that's WWE S. He doesn't want to do that stuff. He wants to do something different. Well, this is different. And, you know, much like with Gingerbread, hopefully it has a payoff. That's what I'm saying right now. I don't know. Is this a Patty Hearst thing? Is this a Stockholm Syndrome thing? We shall see. I don't know. Yeah, Ospreay and Andrade in the same stable for a different promotion, and that's a bit weird. That is weird. That is weird. Yeah. I think that'll be a good show. Dogs need to push. Yeah, that kid injury. But things happen. You know, the dogs are fine. Clark Connors is talented. You know, he might be small, but he's not being pushed as the world champion. But man, that guy's great. Yeah, and David Finlay. It's interesting to see what do they call that thing in NXT? The heritage group that Finlay would have been a part of. It's interesting to watch, and it'll be interesting to see what happens if or when they go to, you know, the main roster. Birthright. Thank you. Birthright. Weird. What do I think about Darby? I think Darby's is going into All In as champ. I would say no. But a lot of times AEW booking is different. And AEW booking is its own thing. But I'll tell you what, though. They need to start hinting about Ospreay or about something for All In. Because people, they want, they want to, the tickets are not strong right now. And we saw with WrestleMania, I thought WrestleMania tickets would recover, but I was wrong. I'm like, well, okay, they got 20,000, which is, 20,000 is 20,000, but in Wembley Stadium, you're going to have to do a lot of tricky camera work and all that stuff for 20,000. And even if it's 30, 30 is fine, but again, Wembley Stadium, they made All In Texas look good with 25 or 26, whatever it was. They made it look great. And they're going to have to do that again if they don't start pointing out, hey, look, do this. Yeah, I get that. Ospreay could win the Owen, but when is the Owen? When's the Owen? How? I don't know. Maybe the other thing to keep in mind, and Dave has talked about this, is it's a funny picture. I got my TV and my pictures are running, and one of my cats. Anyway, with surge pricing. Thank you, capitalism. What a great idea. Yeah, no kidding. Jake Lee for Shinsuke Nakamura. Yeah. But anyway, okay. Surge pricing. People know the game. People know the game now. If you're super jacked and have the money, people buy the good tickets up front. So there's 20,000 core British AEW fans. They want those good seats, in theory. I guess maybe this is the people. But, everyone else knows the game is to wait. The game is to wait and try to get the cheaper tickets. And that is certainly playing a role here. And I think it played a role. At WrestleMania, they went, they kept the prices too high for too long until it was too late. And, flights are too high. This is too expensive. It's like, it was too late. And I think that played, a role. Prices play a role. You're not going to get probably many people flying over this year. Man, I don't know. We'll see. But that, all of these things are playing in it, having an effect. The things Trump is doing, affecting gas prices, affecting prices of goods, affecting, everything. Dollars weak, all these things affect all of our lives. And look, if you have faith that this is going to lead us to the promised land, good for you. Good for you. Yeah, flying anywhere is going to be awful this summer. Wrestling, I've said this for 25 years, maybe 27 years. Wrestling does not live in a bubble. It doesn't. Wrestling not only competes with other forms of entertainment, like video games, like, movies, like other quote unquote sports or other forms of entertainment. We shall see. Yeah, they could fly to All In, maybe to Maine. Yeah, possibly. Yeah, exactly. Now it's going to be, we shall see. Yeah, not if they're worried about coming back. Exactly. And it says here, AW in 2027 play a huge role in the U.S. mania. We'll see. We shall see what happens. I don't know. It's a very interesting time. I think, people are going to freak out about WWE and business being down, but we've been here before, and it's going to be interesting to see with, in theory, AEW firing on all cylinders creatively. Will still this downturn affect it? Quite possibly. So we shall. More than likely, I would say. Jim, with Roosh finally being pushed to a degree, should Roosh win the TNT title, so the national title? Sure. Someone mentioned the dogs, and Finley, David Finley. Roosh has been around a while. Certainly he's a known commodity. But everything with Roosh, for whatever reason, has been start and stop and start and stop and start and stop. Absolutely, he can win a title. And I think the get the bull and the horns, that's, people are chanting that. So that's good. But sort of like, even though David Finlay and the Dogs are newer, I would sort of put them in the same little category for right now. I would show the fans that Roosh is here for a while, and he means business, and he's not leaving. He's not going to get injured. He's not, he is going to be around. You need to show some consistency with Roosh, and that's what I think. And same thing, you need to expose. I'm sure a lot of the fan base does know the Dogs from Japan, the AEW fan base, but still, it's good to, show them off, get used to them, show what they can do. Yeah, were there visa issues? Probably, something like that. But yeah, Finlay versus Roosh would be great. But right now, Andrade's got his time right now. And Darby and MJF, Roosh, you can wait, get him some exposure, do some other things with him. And then after All In, he can be a focus. Those type of things. Certainly give him a marquee match at All In, that kind of thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Finlay does go to WWE eventually. I wouldn't be surprised. But, he's kind of doing the Blake Monroe thing. One of the things I'm wondering about Blake is I wonder if, because she went to AEW first, if they kept her longer in NXT to send a message to people. You go to AEW, and even if you're great, you're still going to spend time in NXT. That's nothing here. It doesn't matter if you're ready or not. That's what I think. Anyway, guys, I should probably get going. But yeah, you think? Ricky, I think, has got an uphill battle. Looking like the Little Rock. Whether it's gonna be hard. Oh yeah, happy Mother's Day to everyone tomorrow. All the mothers, including Shaft. I'm just talking about Shaft. He's a bad mother. Shut your mouth. But yeah, I think Ricky's gonna have it tough. Ricky Saints. Yeah. Cody's obviously tried to help him. And yeah, Royce got lucky, I guess. Royce did. But maybe they didn't want him then. Blake, I think, is a different story. But I don't know. Who knows? Just a theory. I could be wrong. Just a thought. But anyway. All right, kids. I got to go edit the show and get it up. But I appreciate you being here each and every week and your interactions. And I will talk to you next time. All right, man.